What if the real purpose of school isn't just to get you a job, but to help you become fully human? Not successful on paper, but clear minded, strong hearted, and awake to reality. That's the promise of classical education, an ancient and surprisingly radical vision of learning that says truth, goodness, and beauty are real, and your mind and soul were made to seek them. Today, I'm going to walk you through what a classical education actually is, why it's lasted for thousands of years, and how it forms people, not just resumes. We'll talk about the liberal arts, the trivium and quadrivium, the great books, moral formation, and why wonder might be the most important educational outcome of all. Classical education begins with a conviction that modern education often forgets. Education is formation. It's not mainly job training. It's not merely information transfer. It's the shaping of the human person, intellect, character, imagination, so you can see what is real, love what is good, and pursue what is beautiful. In the classical view, the goal is not to produce specialists as quickly as possible, but to cultivate free human beings, people who can reason clearly, speak well, judge wisely, and act virtuously. In other words, people who aren't easily manipulated, who don't panic when the world gets complicated, and who have an inner compass strong enough to guide a life. Section 1, the Great Tradition. This tradition stretches far back. You can trace it from ancient Greece and Rome through the medieval universities and into the Renaissance and Enlightenment. It's carried by a simple idea: the great works of the past are not dusty relics, they are living teachers. Mortimer Adler famously called this ongoing exchange the Great Conversation, the multi century dialogue about life's biggest questions. What is justice? What is a good life? What is a human being? What is worth loving? What is true? And what do we do when truth costs us something? Classical education doesn't pretend those questions are outdated. It insists they're the most practical questions there are, because every life, whether we realize it or not, is built on answers to them. Section 2, the liberal arts, the arts of freedom. At the heart of classical education stand the liberal arts, literally, the arts of freedom. These are disciplines designed to train the mind, not the hands. Not because working with your hands is unimportant, far from it, but because a free person needs more than technical ability. A free person needs understanding. A free person needs judgment. A free person needs the power to think. Traditionally, the liberal arts are divided into two great sequences: the trivium and the quadrivium. Think of them as two wings of the same bird. One trains language and reasoning, the other trains mathematical imagination and wonder at order. The trivium, grammar, logic, rhetoric. First, the trivium, grammar, logic, and rhetoric. These are not just school subjects, they're three stages of learning that form a ladder of thought. Grammar is the study of language, how meaning works, how words carry truth, how we receive and express reality. It teaches you to read carefully, to listen well, and to actually understand what someone is saying. Grammar gives you access to meaning itself. Without it, you don't just struggle with sentences, you struggle with reality. Then comes logic. Logic trains the mind to reason. It teaches you how to tell the difference between a strong argument and a weak one, between what follows and what doesn't, between truth and error. It helps you spot contradictions, not just in other people, but in yourself. Logic is mental integrity. It's learning to think in a way that holds together. And then rhetoric, the art of communicating truth persuasively and beautifully. Rhetoric isn't about manipulation, it's about clarity, power, and grace in speech and writing, so that what you know can be shared, defended, and brought to life. In a world drowning in noise, rhetoric is the skill of speaking like a human being, not a slogan. So the ladder goes like this: first, learn what things mean, then learn whether they're true, then learn how to say them well. Section 4, the quadrivium, number and the harmony of the world. Next comes the quadrivium: arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Here, classical education turns toward the deep structure of the universe, the idea that reality has order, pattern, and intelligibility. Arithmetic is number in itself, quantity, ratio, and the basic language of measurement. Geometry is number in space, shape, proportion, the logic of form. Music, classically understood, is number in time, rhythm, harmony, pattern unfolding through motion. And astronomy is number in space and time, the grand patterns of the heavens, the mathematics of the cosmos. The quadrivium is not merely about calculation, it's about wonder. It teaches you to see that the world isn't just a pile of random facts, it's a meaningful, structured reality you can actually understand. Section 5, The Great Books Encountering the Greatest Minds. But classical education is not only about skill building, it's about encounter, meeting the greatest minds and souls who have ever lived. Students read Homer, Plato, Aristotle, Virgil, Augustine, Dante, Shakespeare, Newton, Locke, and many others not because they're old, but because they're deep. These works have endured because they reach into the permanent human experiences: love and death, justice and tyranny, faith and doubt, reason and passion, freedom and responsibility. And here's the key: you don't read these books to collect trivia. You read them to wrestle. You argue with them. You question them. You let them question you. A classical education doesn't hand students ready made answers like a vending machine. It invites them into dialogue with thinkers who spent their lives grappling with the same questions we face today, only with more patience, more precision, and often more courage. This kind of reading does two things at once. It cultivates humility, because you realize how vast human thought is, and it cultivates wisdom, because you begin to recognize patterns of insight that transcend your own time, your own tribe, your own moment. Section 6, Moral and Spiritual Formation. Classical education also aims at moral and spiritual formation, because knowledge alone doesn't make you good. You can be brilliant and still be selfish. You can be informed and still be cruel. You can be skilled and still be lost. So classical education trains desire. Through story, history, philosophy, and reflection, students encounter courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom embodied in real lives, and they begin to see what virtue looks like in motion. They learn that freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to choose what is worth doing. It's self-mastery. It's having a soul that can say no to what is base so it can say yes to what is excellent. In that sense, classical education is profoundly practical. It teaches you how to live. It shapes not just what you know, but who you become. Lifelong learning. And finally, classical education is ordered toward lifelong learning and wonder. It doesn't try to stuff your mind with facts that will be obsolete in 5 years. It trains the powers of thinking, reading, questioning, and understanding so you can keep growing for the rest of your life. It teaches you how to learn, how to listen, how to disagree without hatred, how to argue without becoming cruel, and how to seek truth even when truth is uncomfortable. In a world obsessed with speed, novelty, and utility, classical education offers something quietly radical: slow, deep cultivation of the human soul. Because the goal isn't merely to become employable, it's to become wise, free, fully alive. So here's a question to leave you with. If education is shaping you into someone, who is it shaping you into right now? A consumer, a worker, a partisan, a distracted scroll machine, or a person able to think, to judge, to love what is worthy of love, and to live with depth?